Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Two Black
Well,
Authors. I am Rev Skip.
Monkey Turner over here.
Dude, I am so excited. I always get so excited because I get to hang out with my brother that I love so much.
Yeah, I love you too. Hey, don't act like we don't talk outside of this show, though.
I know, right? But it's
I'm just
like
saying, it's a little bit different on the show. I understand. I'm right there with you.
And this is week 3. Very excited about the show. But we always do something we call the morning get down. So let's talk about the morning get down. What has kind of made you this week go, what?
Get down with the get down. You know what made me go?
Get down.
You know what made me go? What? That 3-day fast that I was on.
Oh, tell me about it. I know you said you were doing it.
Yeah, so I try to do it twice a year. I do a 3-day water fast. And if you've never done it before, I recommend it. It's not just about a reboot for your body, but it's your mind as well. It's a cleansing process. You know, we put our systems through so much strain our entire life. We need to give it a break sometimes. So with that, and I know Skip, sometimes you get the brain fog, you ain't feeling right, you're detoxing, maybe headache.
I got the brain fog right now from COVID. It's the COVID fog, yo. You know what I'm talking about. What day is it, brother, in this lockdown?
I don't know. I don't know. 1,000, it seems like. But you know what it is. You kind of just disconnect for a little while. You disconnect, and then at the same time you're connecting. Yeah. So you just need a break from everything when you're you fast. So I really, other than that, nothing really stood out to me over the last week. Business is normal.
How was I know day 1 is different than day 2, day 3. I'm interested in day 3. What was the wow day 3? What was that like for you on that fast?
Day 3, you're kind of cruising.
Okay.
You're a little bit hungry, but you're kind of cruising. It's about the 1.5.
Oh, it's
1.5. Yeah.
1.5.
You start feeling all kinds of different ways. 1.5, right? But the last day, your body kind of adjusts. It's, pretty much done kicking everything out, and you just kind of coasting at that time.
Yeah.
It was good.
All right. This week, I got to tell you, bro, I've been catching up on shows on like Netflix and Hulu. So I do. That's my getaway. But one show I got to shout out right now because the Emmy nods were just released, and The Watchmen. Man, from HBO. Have you seen that show?
No, tell me about it.
Oh my God. Well, I'm a huge comic book fan. So Comic-Con was on this week as well. Or last week I was watching Comic-Con and the festival. And that's one of my go-to things. I've never been to the actual Comic-Con convention.
Yeah, I thought I knew you. I knew you.
Anything that's superhero, DC, Marvel.
Look, I've never seen you with a Superman outfit on. I've never seen you with a Spider-Man outfit on.
Oh, okay. Wait till Easter, brother.
Where's your cape at?
Wait till Halloween. I'll have one for you. I promise. Okay. I'll put on my Spider-Man. But I love The Watchmen because this series actually spoke about racial injustice. It spoke about the massacre that happened in Tulsa for Black Wall Street. It talked, and it was a lot of great storylines about racism. And dude, it's mind blowing. So I'm going to suggest that everyone see Watchmen, and HBO was like putting out there for free for a while. I hope they do that again. The thing I want to say is that they are leading for Emmy nominations for a I think it's a limited series. And Regina King, God, she is amazing. But the whole premise of the show just took me to a new, and there's Lou Gossett Jr., and it was just such an amazing way of really talking about what we are experiencing today in racism. So I'm going to suggest that everyone see.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You're making me want to watch it. And I'm not really a comic guy.
Comic book? I figured you to be a comic book like brother.
No, I just look like a cartoon.
No, you know. No, okay. I feel you. I feel you. Well, today's show, guys, this is a really amazing show. We are actually talking about something that's very near and dear to my heart and to Monk's heart as well. It's health freedom. And we both are personal trainers, transformational coach. We're both vegans, and we're not saying you got to be vegan, but we're saying, hey, plant-based is the way to go if you want to really bring your mindful eating practice into place. But we're also bringing in a very close friend of mine, one of my spiritual colleagues. She's a minister. She's a spiritual coach like ourselves. She's also the co-founder of something called the Million Mamas Movement. And this woman, she's my sister from another mister. I love her. And she also does our marketing. She's our marketing. So she does like what we do here. She does so much. She's dancing coming up. She's dancing coming on, doing like this or like that. And hey, Wendy, welcome,
hey,
Wendy.
you guys.
What's up,
hey,
Wendy?
Skip. Hey, Monk Eternal. I'm so honored to be here with you. Thank you for having me.
You're actually our first guest.
That's
You are the first one.
Wow, what an honor. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing collectively. I love what you're doing individually. It's just such a powerful vibratory frequency that you are emitting, this like, that you're just sending out into the ethers. It's so important. Thank you.
I put and you are so important too, because I love, and we've connected for years. I think I've known you for over 15 years, but I put your titles down. I hope I got it right. You're a mother, you're a minister.
Oh yeah, look at me.
And so much more, which I
got something to say.
Okay, what you gotta say? What you gotta say?
So, me and Wendy just met, but Skip had sent your bio over the other day. It took me about 2 hours.
She has a big ass bio, yo.
To read it.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, this was a whole book. It was a whole book. I was like, this woman is amazing. So really, thank you for coming on the show. I thought he was just going to get someone regular.
I'm just a regular mama.
But he went and got a superwoman. That's what he did.
Thank you. That's really kind.
We really appreciate you coming in.
Back at you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
it's really an honor.
The reason why we have you on this show, because I think that there's something that we really want to say about health in the Black community and with Black men in general. And I really want people to know that you are very familiar with what happens in the Black community, because you're supported. Not only that, your husband is a brother. Your daughter's a sister, but you are a sister too. But no, the real brother, he is like, the African roots are deep. But there's this subject that I'm really, and we always talk about health freedom. And in your definition, what is health freedom?
To me, health freedom is the opportunity to make choices about medical interventions, about medical procedures that impact your body, your mind, and your spirit for yourself and for your family. And it's about getting informed, being informed and educated so that you can make a decision from that place. And that there's no government intervention, there's no invasive government egregious overreach. It is not between you and the government. It's between you and yourself and you and your higher power.
Beautiful.
Monk, can you get down with that? You good with that?
Yeah, man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. We need to change the way we do health in America, because obviously it's not working, and the way it's set up is supposed to be failing. Because
it's a sick care system.
Yes, if you follow the money, you're going to see who's put the system together. Absolutely.
And I really feel like it's very interwoven with the institutional racism. I feel like it's such a removal of individual power. It's supposed to be disempowering. It is intentionally set up for people to be on a minimum of 3 medications. My camera's doing something weird. I apologize.
Real TV, yo. You might even hear a trash truck in a moment in my house, so it's all good.
Okay, can you see me?
Yeah, we can see
Yeah,
you.
we can see you good.
Okay,
You good.
okay, very good. Okay, good. Oh, okay. So, how ironic on that note. But what it's really set up is so that a person is on three prescription medications their whole life. So, and I want to preface that I really understand that most people go into the medical profession because they want to help people heal. I mean, the Hippocratic Oath is do no harm.
Mhm.
But what I've uncovered is that there is a huge swath of medical professionals that are uninformed and uneducated around certain issues, and they profess to know what they know, but their knowing comes from the pharmaceutical reps and
Absolutely.
protocol, not
And,
individual study.
and you mentioned like most people are on, I'm on 3 medications that appears to be I'll be for the rest of my life. And something I share openly, and I don't believe there's any shame in it. So I share I've been HIV positive for the last, over 25 years. And there's a medicine that I take so I can stay alive. But I also know, and I also believe that there is a cure out there. But the reason why we're not getting this cure is because of the fact that who's making money? Who's
Right.
making money off of me being sick or me having the appearance of being sick? So I love that you brought that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about that the other day with somebody yesterday, and we were talking about the whole system and how physicians are taught what they're taught. It does, and their intentions might be good, but that's all they're taught. So if they're not taught any other way, they're going to really believe in the way they were taught, even if it's wrong.
Yes. Well, you know what I learned? I learned, and for those that are watching it, it's okay if you disagree with me. I'm happy to post the link. I know it's very controversial. I offered this information because I want people to be empowered and educated so they can evolve a new way of being for themselves and their families. So what I learned in 2015 kind of blew my mind and shocked me. So you will hear people talk about the MMR vaccine. You will hear people talk about autism. You will hear people dig their heels in and say, it's been debunked. It's absolutely not true. And get really heated about it, hot about it. So there is a scientist, a lead scientist at the CDC named Dr. William Thompson. And he was involved in the 2004 study that was questioning the connection between the MMR vaccine and autism. And I want to just say that what I've come to learn is that autism is really a broad spectrum of neurological impact. So that's what I've come to learn. And so what I was informed about is that this very famous 2004 study that now has the name on it of Frank DeStefano, who's also from the CDC. What happened is that there were a lot of parents complaining that their kids were having neurological damage after having the MMR vaccine. So a group of scientists went off-site to a hotel or a conference center in Simpsonwood, Atlanta. And they were running the numbers. They were running what they were getting. And William Thompson called his superior or emailed and said, these numbers are indicating large amount of adverse reaction, especially in young Black boys that receive them under the age of 3.
What was the percentage and the greatness of that?
246% higher risk of regression to autism.
I was just going to ask you that question.
46% higher in young Black boys.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look around your family and your friend's family, if you notice how many young Black boys are on the spectrum or have autism, like full blown, right? So
I know quite a few.
So it blew my mind. I was like, why would the government do this? His superiors said, make those numbers go away.
Wow.
And
I was just
like,
going to ask you
that.
So there's a film.
Okay.
So I want to let you know there's a film called Vaxxed, the very first Vaxxed, that breaks it down. And I mean, it is totally mind-blowing, right?
Mind-blowing.
So when I see something like that, I think of Tuskegee.
Okay. See, we're about to go into something because this is the history of slaves from ever to test your medical vaccines on slaves, moving all the way up to Tuskegee and beyond. And now, what is up with Bill Gates and Melinda Gates wanting to pay for the vaccine for all the Black people to get the vaccine first for this COVID virus? What?
You know what it is?
You hear about that?
What I know, first of all, I want to let you know that there's a conference called ACIP that's happening, and I'm trying to bring it up on my phone. I posted on my Facebook wall, and it's always so like, oh, do I post it? Do I not post it? I'm not looking to fight with people. The thing of this is that, I mean, I could cry. I came to this because I've been working with parents, and I love the whole, child-parent relationship. And I feel so strongly about kids being empowered and brought up to be critical thinkers. And I really fell into this. It wasn't like I was looking for this. I was just, a client said to me in 2015, have you heard about SB 277? And I didn't. I hadn't heard of it. And then I had 4 clients in a row whose kids are vaccine injured. And SB 277 was introduced by a senator, pediatrician, Richard Pan, to eliminate a parent's right to make a choice about what vaccines, if they receive vaccines, if a child receives them. And it sailed through. I was in Sacramento 5 times. And it sailed through legislation. I couldn't believe, like, I was just watching this process going, is this really happening? Like,
yeah. And you have kids too. So can you speak to, I don't know if you vaccine, Monk. I mean, did you? I don't know. So, and I don't have kids, so I can't really speak to that, but I think this is crazy.
So I think the issue with it all is most people are ignorant when it comes to that type of stuff. And we trust the medical field way too much.
Right.
So if the doctor says this is what you need, we don't even question it. We don't even look in another direction. We just say, okay, they want the best for us, so we're going to do that. So when they stick your baby 100 times before they're like 3 years old,
64 doses by the time a child is 6.
Right. So we're thinking this is just going to protect our children. And like I said earlier, I was going to ask you that question about the rate or how prevalent it is within the Black community is more prevalent with the autism than any other community. Because I heard that, but I didn't know exactly how that played out. And then you also mentioned Tuskegee. And I think a lot of people don't understand the things that are set up. Like, I don't even think people really realize Tuskegee, or they don't believe that actually happened because it's so crazy.
And they don't know it actually happened. Some people don't. I say Tuskegee Airmen, they go, okay, weren't they the Black? Yeah, but something else happened with that.
So for those that don't know, they were injected under the false notion that they were getting something good for them with syphilis, with no cure, to see the long-term effects it had on the human body.
Right.
That is crazy. If they can do that, what makes you think they can't do something else or they won't do something else? This whole system is done on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look and see who's struggling in this system, you got to know that this was done purposeful. It wasn't by accident.
And so when we hear, and I'm so glad that, Bill and Melinda and all these philanthropists realize they had too much money, so we need to do this. But I hear well, we're going to pay for this vaccine for all Black people to get in line first to get it right away. I kind of see the root of this, and I look at it in a different way. It reminds me of slavery when they tested slaves on vaccines. Medical doctors, they did these testings on the enslaved people. Then we have mass incarceration where they would tell prisoners, we'll take a little bit of time off if you do this testing. Then we have Tuskegee. And then we have a history of this happening. It's happening with people with breast cancer. It's happened with women. Black women were tested on for cancer medicine. So and we will give you this because you don't have a lot. So here's a little bit more money. Here's a little bit more money. Come and get tested. Come and get tested. One of the things I do want to speak to, and which really I woke up to this, and Monk, I told you, and Wendy, you know this story too, that when I had my second back surgery, which was about a year and a half ago, I walked out of the hospital with a shitload of Oxycontin. Ooh. And that was up to 12 oxys a day just to deal with the pain. 12. Ooh. 12. And I would sit here in my home, and my best friend, my roommate, would say, "Are you okay?" And I would go, "I'm just like," ugh. So because of the surgery, I thought it was okay. I had a come to Buddha moment that was like, "This ain't right." So right. I do not suggest you do this, but this was me. I stopped it. I went, I can no longer deal with this. But I actually went to some alternative medicines. I went to CBD. I did some other things that would help me to really acupuncture, and I did Reiki, and I did Reiki on myself. Alternative medicine, which I hear someone I appreciate or I want to appreciate in the government is asked Facebook. I don't know if it's true, but one of our government officials asked Facebook to take everything off about alternative medicine. And I heard that. I'm going, why? And you educated me, Wendy, saying, big pharma. I went, okay, it makes sense.
They don't want the cure.
They don't want the cure.
Well, if you look, I mean, we're talking about Adam Schiff, and he asked Facebook and Google he sent a big letter. I can post a link to it, but he sent a letter demanding that everything related to alternative medicine and including vaccines needs to be scrubbed off of those social media platforms. And so the film Vaxxed and then I believe it was Trace Amounts, all of the platforms, Google, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter. Instagram's owned by Facebook, but it hasn't done that at this point. But there is censorship. I mean, I used to write for Huffington Post semi-regularly, and I did an article, and you know how in the back of a site, when you go to write something, there's ways to edit it. So it was rejected once. So I reworked it, and then it was rejected twice. And then I reworked it, and it was rejected again. So it was rejected, a number of times. I kept trying to rework it because, my biggest concern is that if people don't know what's happening, they don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And I wanted to tell you that Bobby Kennedy and Del Bigtree won a lawsuit against Human Health Services because when you talk to somebody, and this is how you know people are following a script. Vaccines are safe and effective. They're safe and effective. They're safe and effective. You hear this. Vaccines are safe and effective. So they've been tested. That's why they're safe and effective. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Del Bigtree won a lawsuit to prove that Human Health Services, that the vaccine safety hadn't been tested in over 30 years, and they won. So what happens is we are left with, like, I think about this, Skip, right, and Monk, is what is the opportunity here? What is this asking us to become? And I feel like you've both spoken to it. I feel like what this is asking us to become is 100% responsible for our health and to be informed and educated, because it's most people just accept what they read on all mainstream media. And anyone who questions that is vilified and called a conspiracy theorist.
I have a question.
Yes.
What did we use before Big Pharma? What did we use before that?
What do we use?
What did we use?
We use natural remedies.
The plant, yo.
We use herbs. Right. And you think about, like, when people start talking about how they must use vaccines, I think about penicillin. Not everybody can take penicillin. Yeah. Some people get deathly ill from that. So why would there be an insistence that every single person do this? Why is there more than one blood pressure medicine? Why does Baskin and Robbins have 31 flavors if everybody's going to eat?
Truth, yo. Truth.
And why?
So
why
we get to this
parents in the position? Why would the government put parents in the position of having to make a choice between injecting their children with something they're concerned about or education? What is that?
And you know what you were talking about before, censorship is real, and this show has already been censored. I went to promote and to boost our viewing for our last show, and because of our language and because of what we were talking about, Monk and I, Facebook had me register as a social and a political voice. Our show's a social and political voice. So I still have yet to get it back yet so we can boost our shows. And I'm feeling that this is the same thing about this show, and that's okay. And I registered because I'm not going to be silenced. I can't silence Monk. He can't silence
me. You can't shut me up. That's my wife.
And I'm a minister, and so are you, Wendy. Rev Wendy, you're a minister too. Don't ever give a minister mic, yo.
Wendy, I have on a more personal note.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was reading your bio, and it said you had some teaching programs.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know a little bit more about that. And a lot of it has to do with peace. And I love that.
Thank you.
Because peace is associated with love. They go hand in hand. So it said world peace begins at home.
Yes. Yes. So I am a trauma-informed, nonviolent parenting educator, and I would say I'm a practitioner of nonviolence. And so I began. I mean, it's so funny. Almost everything that I've done has been this organic evolution. So I became an older mom, and I made a choice that I wanted to birth my daughter at home with midwives. And we were going to breastfeed. I was going to breastfeed and do the family bed and really encourage her to be the person she's here to be, not fit an agenda, a prescribed agenda. So what happened was I had people coming to me and asking me, what was I doing? How did I feed her? How did I deal with this? And it's, for what it's like with a new baby, it's a huge adjustment. Your life is like, So out of that, as a practitioner, as a spiritual practitioner, I really believe that our children, it's so funny because I remember saying this to the minister, the man, Charles Hall, who was the director of the children's ministry at Agape way back when. And I said
way back in the day, wow.
Way back in the day. And I said to him, the children are not only our future, they are our now.
Yes. Yes.
So what we feed, like what we immerse in them, is what helps them to flower and blossom. So out of that, I started teaching a program, which is it's based in nonviolence. And I ended up studying more about that, going to a school and doing 170 hours plus of training to really be able to present these universal principles of nonviolence through the lens of parenting, because I believe that the opportunity of parenthood is not only to help your children be who they're here to be, but it also helps parents heal those places within them that were never addressed or soothed. So that's one of the programs
that's the deep work right there. It's the parents, it's us adults,
always
hard-headed adults, like we know it all.
So people don't understand how much children can be our teachers.
Yes.
Not only are we learning from them, but they're changing the world. They're so much more connected as a young child. And if you let them blossom and kind of step back out of the way and just tell them, don't touch the iron, look 2 ways before you cross the street, and let them be them, they're so powerful.
Aren't they? They're brilliant.
And on that same note, because we were limited on time, I want you to speak to Million Mamas movement.
Oh, sure.
It is the bomb. It is the bomb. You have so much you're doing. We're going to have you come back again, and we're going to go a little bit over our 30-minute marker, because some people said that our show was too short last week. So we're going to go over a little bit more. But tell us about the Million Mamas, and that comes out of the peace movement as well, right?
Well, it came out of, I was looking, I'll try and be succinct. So I was engaged in a process after graduating from practitioner training, which is a very arduous and very beautiful, but it's a huge education. And so I came out of there, but I didn't really know about marketing. So I attempted to do it myself based on my experiences, PR and marketing. And I was visioning. I kept visioning what's mine to do, what's mine to do. I had been doing some parenting on my own, and I was in a coaching program. And I had this vision. I went to the gym, and I don't know if you both know, I'm psychic medium, so I channel. And so I was at the gym, and I was on the elliptical going back and forth, and I heard Million Mamas March. And I was like, okay, it must be like TV. There's going to be the Million Man March. Or I thought it was my father-in-law, who was a civil rights leader and activist with CORE and NAACP. And I thought he was saying hi. So I was like, hey, Arthur, and just going back and forth. And then I heard it again. And then I heard Washington, D.C. Mother's Day. And I was like, okay, wow. Okay, well, from experience, I know just to say yes. So made a few phone calls. One of them was to Michael Beckwith. One of them was to another friend. And I was like, this is what I got. And so I started working on an event in DC at the mall. Like, all of these things started falling in place. And then I was told that it was a movement and not a moment. So it became Million Mamas movement to empower mothers and others to embody their sovereign power as influencers and changers for themselves and the children, the next 7 generations. So that's like the total thumbnail of Million Mamas movement. It's events, it's programs, it's emotional support, spiritual support, and physical support.
That's beautiful.
So good. So good. Can Monk join even though he's not a mama?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a mama lover.
What? What, brother?
He said, yeah, I want to join, Wendy, please. I want to join.
I do too. We're going to support you because you are
movement, I should say.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I welcome it. It's the thing that I can say about a vision is that it's a living biology through me, right? It's not static. Like, both of you have visions, so your visions grow you. So I have been a mostly obedient student to this vision, and so I feel like it's important for us to really empower the mothers and the children, and who do we need? We need all of them. We need the mamas, the papas, the aunties, the uncles. Because it does take a village. It's not, that whole paradigm of I'm going to do it myself. That is really outdated.
Go
ahead, Monk. Go ahead.
Will you be a part of my tribe? Is number one.
Yeah.
And I need to get your information because we need to talk.
We will, but you know what? It was so funny because we always finish the show about what's the answer, and Wendy was so on it. Rev Wendy was so on it. She jumped right into what's the answer.
She already knew. She already knew it was coming.
She already knew. But Wendy, I'm gonna give it to you. Then I'm gonna throw it to Monk, and then I'm gonna throw it to myself. In this process of what we're going through in COVID and all the stuff that's happening with the meds and all this is happening with health freedom, in your opinion, what is the answer right now? What is the answer for our listeners and our viewers?
Do your research. Please do your research. Do your research outside of mainstream media. I really love Del Bigtree. He's a colleague of mine. He has a show called High Wire or The High Wire with Del Bigtree. Join Million Mamas Movement. Join Children's Health Defense. Bobby Kennedy's doing amazing work. Stay engaged to those sources that are not funded. They have no funding by pharma or big gov or big tech. They're doing this. We're all doing this out of our love for truth and peace.
I love that. Monk, what's the answer, brother?
Well, yeah, I agree with Wendy as far as getting, get some information, do your research, but also there's information within that we all know. We just turn our attention, our awareness inward. There's a lot of times we can get that information so we can make the correct moves that's going to better ourselves and our families or, whoever's in our circle. So our intuition, tap into that intuition. If it doesn't feel right. If the doctor tells you something and it doesn't feel right, don't just say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go research. Go get that information. Look elsewhere until it feels right. And then that's your intuition. When it feels right, then you make a move. That's my
and that's fun. I want to say that's foundational. The meditation, the introspection, the intuition, before you even research, that's the foundation.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. The answer for me would be I'm remembering a part of my experience. I'm not living in my story, but it's a part of my experience of going at the highest point of my pain was being on 12 oxys a day and being on and being in a zombie state just to deal with the pain. And then taking the last oxy, I was still in so much pain, and spirit dropped into me and saying, "This ain't it, brother. Let's come on out of this. This ain't it." So in that aspect, I research alternative medicine. I research CBD. I research the use of cannabis as a painkiller, which I do use today. And I'm a proud cannabis user. And I say it all the time. It is a plant medicine. Don't use it to escape. I use it for what it was meant to be. I also believe in the fact that your acupuncture, your Reiki healer, your sound baths, your meditation, your yoga, all the things that Monk and I talk about. This is the medicine of spirit.
Yes.
This is spiritual medicine. I also have a shaman. I go see Manuel. Manuel is my shaman, and I'm actually going through my initiation to becoming a shaman. And Wendy, you're a shaman too. Okay, Monk, can we have Wendy come back, please?
Let me think about it. Hold on. The voice said, I guess.
Wendy, where can people find you and what can we because I need to follow you. We need to follow Wendy. We need to support what she's doing because she's shifting the planet.
Oh, thank you both. I'm so honored, really. I have such love for you both. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity and for this dialogue. So I have two websites. One is Wendy Silvers, and that's SILVERS.com. And then Million Mamas, MAMAS, movement.org. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Wendy Silvers, Million Mamas Movement. And that's how you can find me. And I look forward to connecting.
My brother, can you please tell people about your new website, please?
It's monketernal.com. How you know it's new? I don't tell you nothing.
Brother, okay, because I had a hand in that. I'm not going to toot my own horn, but what? That's me tooting my own horn. You like that? What?
Yeah.
You see the hat today, right? What? You see the hat? You see it?
So if somebody doesn't like my website, I'm gonna blame it on you then, Skip. You had a hand in it.
Well,
so on my Instagram, you can find me at monk_eternal. Facebook, either vegan monk or what's my other one? Monk
eternal.
Monk Coleman on Facebook, vegan monk, and then 2 Black authors. And what else?
Just search them out, y'all.
Monk Eternal. I mean, all of them. Just look. You'll find them.
Do you have your contact info below?
We do.
Yeah, I think just for Instagram. It's
on technology. We're still kind of learning it right now. But you can get me at skipjennings.com, and then I am every place as Skip Jennings or Skip Jennings Coach. But on Facebook, I just changed my page over to Rev Skip Jennings. So if my coaching page is now Rev Skip Jennings, I'm actually embracing that name, which scared me for so long. But I know with the help of Wendy and the help of Monk, we all have a voice, and I believe the village is coming forth in this voice right now to do what we are here to do. One other thing I want to tell people about, guys, this Friday, it's going to be 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I always get that wrong. Pacific Daylight Time, Wendy? Monk, is it daylight or standard?
Right now.
Let's say Pacific is the important part, right? You say California time. They'll get it.
Oh, California time. That's cool. Let's start saying California time, okay? But this Friday, I'm really excited about something I get to do with the app that I've been a teacher on for about 2 years now. It's called Insight Timer. It is a meditation app that gives a lot of free meditations, and then there's the premium side. But just a little word of the side note, that's where Monk and I connected first, was Insight Timer. Wow. This Friday morning, I'm actually doing a live event. It is a live meditation, which I get to do a little talk about spiritual technologies that is helping us to uplift our frequency during this time of COVID. Now, why do I say that? Because it is so important that we stay high in the vibration as we're going through this. We're in 2.0 in COVID lockdown in California. Hello. And a lot of other places are too. So what do we do to uplift our frequency and to get us to that place where we believe that of infinite possibilities? That's what I'm going to be talking about. That's on Insight Timer app. You got to download the app, or if you have an iOS, you can do it from your computer. But that's going to be 7 a.m. I'm really excited. We have about 3,000 people actually already registered. Today, we have 2 days going, so it could be about 10,000 people meditating at once. So I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, but I'm all good. And I'm going to just do Rev Skip. That's what I'm going to do, is Rev Skip.
Do it. And then what about your app, the Spiritual Life?
God, that's why you're doing my marketing. Thank you so much, Wendy. So we're doing a free giveaway, and Wendy's helping me with this. She's my marketing manager. So if you guys want some marketing, Wendy's the person to go to. We're giving away 3. If there is your first 5 people, I should know this. We did this for the last 3 weeks. The first 5 people that tag 3 people in this feed, in the feed of 2 Black authors Facebook page. So go to the Facebook page and put it in there, tag 3 people, and share the video on yours. We're going to give you 1 month free on the new Spiritual Life app. And the Spiritual Life TV app is not just all about Skip. It is Monk. Monk's going to be on there too. You owe me some videos, brother.
I know. Hey, I'm on today. And I don't like your videos. I don't like your tone right now. I don't like that.
That's called the spiritual smackdown. Smackdown.
On the get down.
Down the smackdown.
I love you, Monk, because you keep it real. You keep it on the real, especially when I call you in the morning. I call you and it's like, I'm working with the client. What you want? That's keeping it real.
But why you always do it though? You always fall at the same time. Why you do that?
Because I'm up at 4:30 meditating, and then when I get to my desk, which is about 5:30, I'm thinking, why isn't everybody up? Hello?
Right?
You know, I'm just working. So you got a couple years on me. I know you a little bit. I'm not trying to say
Watch this. Look at this. He's out.
I don't want to say that.
What were you saying? He's still talking.
Word. But you know,
Oh, you too.
I love you. Wendy.
You can take it however you want to take it.
So do you have a request for him, Monk Eternal? Do you have a request for Rev Skip?
A request for what? For him to what? Stop calling me when I'm working?
To call you at a particular time?
Oh, yeah. He knows. He already knows. But I'm just saying, I might have to remind him because, like I said, he up there. He been around the rotation of the earth happened a few times.
Okay, so on that note, I gotta drop out because this is too much.
He'll love it. I'm just saying.
Our show. Mark and I really love you. Wendy loves what we do, and we're just so grateful. So until next week, and next week we're talking about religion and spirituality in the Black community. Oh
man, that's gonna be something.
Wendy, can we get someone who can jump in on there? Maybe Jason Mitchell. Maybe get Jason.
Hey, Jason. Get Jason.
Can you mute me? I'm having a coffee.
I will. Wendy, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. So yeah, let's see if we can get Jason Mitchell. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay. So until next week, brother. Love you, man. See you soon.
See y'all later.